great day. Welcome to the second annual National Law School Signing Day. This event was started to help spotlight the accomplishments of our LEAD students that have been accepted and that will be attending law school in the fall. So what is LEAD? LEAD is an acronym for Legal Education Advancing Diversity. Dillard University's LEAD program is committed to diversifying the legal profession, as we like to call it, one student at a time. So through a holistic approach, the students gain practical experience in the legal profession. So why is this so important? Thanks for asking. It's important because African Americans only make up 4.7% of all attorneys in America. 4.7%. And that number has not grown since 2011. So in over 10 years, that number still has not grown. So that's one of the reasons why this program is so important. The overall goal of the LEAD program, as I say, is to increase diversity in the legal profession by assisting underrepresented scholars in navigating one of the most difficult components of the legal pipeline program, and that's gaining admission into law school. So through a comprehensive year-long program, the LEAD program provides high-quality, rigorous LSAT preparation, law school admission workshops, individual success coaching, meeting and advising through the application process, and an attorney mentor program. Studies have shown, and research has been done by at least one person who's in this room today, by Mr. Aaron Taylor from Access Lex, shows that about 49% of African Americans that apply to law school get denied. It's not due to inferior intelligence. It's due to a lack of resources. Many African Americans don't have the resources for tutors or success coaching or have the availability of legal mentors in their field. Some students suffer from imposter syndrome, feel as though they don't belong. But here at Dillard University's pre-law program, we make sure that each and every student knows that they belong and there's a place for them in the legal field. This program is special because it marries an eager, hungry-minded student with the tools and the resources necessary to be successful and to getting into law school. This program has been very successful with the numbers as far as getting students admitted. Last year, 93% of our students that applied to law school got accepted. This year, so far, we're still waiting on one more, but this year, so far, 100% of our students that applied to law school got accepted. Now, the students that you're going to hear from today, that's going to sit on the stage, these are extraordinary students. The students that you will hear from today have received over $1.3 million in scholarship from law school. Here at the LEAD program, we are trying our best to change that number, that 4.7%. And it starts with students like these, and it starts with parents and friends and colleagues like you helping to support. Because as you know, it essentially takes a village to make sure that these students not only gain interest into law school, but also matriculate through law school and graduate and take the bar and become great attorneys. I almost said something else, another adjective, but great attorneys, right? Kick butt attorneys. Those are the type of attorneys we want because we have a lot of social justice issues here in America that we need to address, most recently in Tennessee. So there's a lot of things that's going on that we need a lot of you all to address as attorneys. So this show that you're going to see today, I like to call this show because I like to spotlight these students. So the show that you're going to see today is filled with information, it's filled with love, and it's filled with genuineness from these students. But first, the first thing we want to do is we want to give you all a little treat from one of our local singers here in New Orleans. Her name is Charm Taylor. Charm Taylor is a transformative multidisciplinary artist, a culture keeper, and change maker. As an independent vocalist and songwriter, Taylor's first gained recognition for her collaborative recordings with Galactic and was a lead singer of the electric soul rock band The Honorable South. Her music and dynamic performance are infused with ancestral memory, wellness, and deep feminine energy, which is also evident in her bold visual creations, meditating on pathways to liberation. In 2015, she released a critically acclaimed first solo EP, The Road Within, followed by several albums with local indie imprint Sinking City Records. Her digital artwork installation, A Creative Response to the Juvenile Justice Crisis, is on exhibition now at the Newcomb Gallery at Tulane University, and her new album, Evolution, is out everywhere now. Taylor has served in the community as an activist, an educator, and taught writing and history to elementary and middle school students. She is a graduate of Occidental College in Los Angeles. So without further ado, please let me welcome you, Ms. Charm Taylor.
Hello.
We're gonna get another sound. Check. Shut it down. Check. Okay, this one works, so we'll pass. Okay, there we are. How y'all doing? Peace and good morning to you. Thank you for having me. My name is Charm Taylor, and I'm accompanied today by Charlie. We call him Wino Willie. He is the program manager and director at Upbeat Academy, and their focus is bringing music production and arts into public schools, homeless shelters, etc. So when we talk about change making, we're talking about using all of our God-given talents, our interests, our pursuits, our passions to bring forward and create the world that we want to live in. So I'll present some music today. My mother wanted me to go to law school. She said, you right there, you who are always advocating and always making people do the right thing, you need to go to law school. And I was like, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a singer, and I want to be a teacher. And then I also said I want to be a fashion consultant. I had no idea what that meant. But I know I had flavor, and I wanted to do that. So here we are, moving in our purpose. I'm really proud of each and every one of you. Dante didn't tell me to say this part. I don't think this is a part of my time, but I want to say when I came in here to do some workshopping with the civil rights attorney and Professor Nia Weeks, and got to know some of you all talking about artivism. That is the combination of art and activism, and the way that culture moves us forward, because that's what we do. Art and music and culture pushes the world forward, and art imitates life. So I was really, really inspired and grateful when Dante reached out and asked for me to open this space up with some music to charge us and inspire us and affirm what you all are doing. So thank you for having me. My goon by my side, they say we gon' ride. I bring water to the shrine, one time on my spirit guides. I ain't never seen nobody living who ain't cried. You gon' dream, you gon' grind, you gon' seek till you find. Grab your favorite rappers and go stand them all in line. Bet they all sound the same, but that's all by design, though. Everything you live into and listen to the copycat. Real things happen every second, no fame, speak facts. I'm a small axe, cutting down the tree. Roll so tight round your throat you can't see. Look, repping every chain till they free. Same poison, same pain, same chain, gang, and them chains by design too. You got 25, saw it with my own eyes. The DA is the judge, we need justice for our sons and our daughters. Put that on your altar. Ida was my idol. I'm Harriet's daughter.
A man was lynched today, and they ain't just a quote.
If you feel it,
Right or wrong.
cause you supposed to feel
He
it.
was driving home. A man was lynched today, and they ain't just a quote or a song or a poem.
They say it's the American way.
A man was lynched today, and they ain't just a song or a poem. Right or wrong. Right or wrong. Get it on. Right or wrong.
That's why I'm dressed in all black like the Omen. Oh, I'm dressed in all white like a shaman. Nat Turner in the booth, I sing them love and strength and rap them something true. Locked down, cage down, crying down slowly. Guns, 23 ones, bells, bonds, hell, jail, cell. They got Sully, they got Mel, free trail. 150K, $30 every day. Slaves, property, estate, youngin' caught a case. Facing 10 to 99, ship them up state. With a proof, why y'all lying? I'll wait. Law servant, please, like it's birthday cake. By the time they see the law book shut, it's too late. Someone please tell the op stop rolling down the block. And please tell the youth stop gunning down the block. Holla if you hear me, you the reason they kill Pop. They can't hurt me cause they feel me. Black folks won't stop. And I can't afford to solely record. I got a whole nation of hoods to restore. What did you come here for? My mama carried me in the womb of a cell, 11 by 12. That's why I knew I had to come and get it myself. I want my freedom to taste free, no artificial flavors. They handing out the sweet stuff, I'm coming for the paper. I heard about some folks in the crop fields trying to shake us down, plant they poison in the ground. I got my paper, what we gonna eat now? I'm God's child, earthbound and airborne, born from the thunderstorm. Look, Lord, if you know what you came here for, put your hands up. Put your hands up. Clap your hands up like you know what you came here for. Yeah, I live like I was born for a day, baby. You can't change where you come from. The problems of today, we'll have to face them head on. Make your head strong. Go live life like you were born for it. I live life like I was born. I don't want no ice cream. I just want the paper. Reparations now. I want my truth to taste true, no peeling back the layers. Look, cause when it's fake, man, I can taste it. Give me something I can savor. The fruit from the labor, been a while cause the system did a favor. I said I want the truth from the labor, cause very few did us any favors. Don't you dare call the name of false saviors. Me, I need some water rights and some green acres land. Rappers backstage blowing big green acres and me, I am on another high. Been thinking it's time like I am on the climb, and you gon' have to meet me in the sky. I've been searching for 3, 5s, and 7s, 10s, 11s, mastering existence like I came from heaven. Really, I did since I was a kid. Knew I would be something beautiful, bright and big, and that's why I'm bigger than them income tax checks, and bigger than the 1st and 15th, and homes motherless and fatherless. And nevertheless, I'm up next. They asked this Miss Charm Taylor have bars. These super rich rappers worshiping cerebral chords. Look, I'm trying to wake you up. You know you've been sleeping. I want to reconnect you to your own higher being, and being that I search for them babies, make you know I'm slaying demons left and right. I'm talking Buffy them, the divine feminine. Who's coming? I'm not running from no men, man. You were born for it. Said I was born for it, made for it. If you ever forgot, remember that, baby. You can't change where you come from. The problems of today, you have to face them head on. Make your head strong. Go live life like you were born for it. Go live life like you were born for it, baby. I said you can't change where you come from. The problems of today, you have to face them head on. Make your head strong. Go live life like you were born for it. That thing that you can't stop thinking about, do it, and do it all. Do every bit of it. Weren't you born? What did you come here for? Weren't you born? What did you come here? Peace, y'all. I'm proud of you.
so I'll go ahead and switch this. Next, we're going to have the reading of the bio by Jerica Edwards, who is a DU 23 graduate, as well as Ms. Dillard. So, Jerica Edwards, please come to the stage.
Hello. Good morning. I don't think I'm watching one. So good morning, good afternoon. I'm not really sure exactly what time it is, but I'm so honored to be here with you all today. As Mr. Bowler said, I am Jerica Edwards, a graduating senior urban studies and public policy major from Mobile, Alabama, and I currently serve at the 87th Miss Dillard University. But I'm also a pre-law scholar, so it's really an honor for me to stand before my classmates who made the decision to attend law school. I just want to say I'm super proud of you all. And now, what I was called here to do. So it is my honor to welcome back a fellow Dillard University alum, Ms. Tanya Major Goff. Ms. Goff graduated from Dillard University in 2002, and she received her degree in history with a minor in finance. After Dillard, she attended the University of Texas at Austin in 2003, where she gained her master's of professional accounting. Following her time at the University of Texas at Austin, she attended Northwestern University School of Law and obtained her Juris Doctorate degree in 2009 and was a member of the Dean's List. Ms. Goff is an experienced finance lawyer representing a broad range of clients and negotiating various debt transactions. Her finance practice includes representing public and private borrowers, lenders, investors, financial institutions, real estate investment trusts, and private equity sponsors in their portfolio companies. Tanya has extensive experience negotiating and documenting domestic and international subscription-backed credit facilities. Ms. Goff is a certified public accountant licensed in Illinois. Ms. Goff represents the veterans of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operating Enduring Freedom to obtain combat-related special compensation. She represented DLA Piper LLP, the U.S.'s first in the U.S. in their first successful veteran and his recipient of CRSC. Ms. Goff also advises nonprofit organizations, including Head Start organizations, regarding corporate governance, formation procedures and filings, and tax applications of operations and nonprofit organizations. Without further ado, welcome Ms. Tanya Major Goff.
Everyone, if that's okay. So I am a 2002 Dillard graduate. I'm so honored to be here today. Student, this building was not in existence. When I was here, there was no pre-law program at all. I majored in history. I took a lot of history classes. I took a lot of finance classes. And at that time, they had one legal-related class, and I took it. But this is just remarkable coming into this building and you guys having all of these resources available to you. My practice is leverage finance. I call myself a closer. I'm a closer because on any given day, I'm closing multi-million-dollar transactions against adverse attorneys on the other side who really probably don't even want me on the deal, because you're really, to be honest with you, you're averse to a lot of white males. And you are on transactions where you have to continuously prove, I know what I'm doing, I'm representing my client, I'm good at it, and what I'm arguing is important. So why I'm negotiating/arguing You will see a lot of times my kids are there. My kids are in the back row. Quentin, LT, and then my husband is here. And they'll hear me arguing or negotiating different things, and I don't know what their impression of it is, but when you practice law, if you're a litigator, if you're on the transaction side, it's a lot of negotiating, and a lot of negotiating is done in your writing. Your writing skills are crucial. So here at Dillard, I took a lot of English-based classes that really helped me when I got to law school and when I started practicing. When you do get to law school, it's just a totally different animal. To be honest with you, it's just a different way of practicing or learning material. So it's not about memorizing and then relaying in tests what you've learned in this particular course, if it's a family law or civil procedure. It's not like that. You take a multitude of classes, you read cases, and you issue files. This is basically what you do. So don't do what I did when I went to law school. I went to law school and did the same study practices that I did in high school and I did in college, meaning I studied by myself. Because in high school, when I was studying groups, we would go to groups at the library and have a good time and gossip and what's going on in school, and no work was done. So that was my mentality of working in a group. When you get to law school, I encourage you, work in a group. Get a group. Get a group for this class. Get a group for that class. All you guys get together. Hear that person's insight. Hear this person's insight on the case. See what issues they're spotting. Because you may think you answered everything that needs to be done on this matter or this subject line when your friend that's in the study group sees it differently. And that's how it's done on the test. It's just a bunch of issue spotting over and over and over again in your test. I don't know if you guys have taken practice tests, and this can be interactive. Y'all can talk back to me. That's why I want to sit down. Have you taken tests where it's a bunch of issue spotting, and you guys have to write? And so when you study together, and you guys thought, oh, I see this, and I see that. Yes? Okay. So continuously do that. Don't do what I did. Continuously do that, because I think that hurt me. But I did take advantage of, when I was in law school, externships, practicum. When I first went to law school, I thought for sure I wanted to do tax law. That's what I wanted to do. I have an accounting background. That's what I really want to focus on. And then I took a tax class, a partnership tax class. I was like, no, this isn't for me at all. But I also did an externship at the IRS. It was a class, so I got class credit for it. And I realized this is not, I don't want to work at the IRS. It's just a different situation. It was totally different than what I thought. I did a clerkship with a judge, which was also a class, and realized that's not the type of law I want to practice. A lot of us, and I see this most common, I don't want to do overgeneralization, but a lot of African Americans, particularly male, seem to go into the litigation practice. And I don't know, that's just what I see. That they particularly go into the litigation practice. I don't want to go to court. I usually haven't been to court in years. So it just wasn't for me. But I will say in law school, it's just a lot of theory-based testing. And you will need to do these externships, clerkships and practicums and things of that nature to actually learn how to practice law. So maybe I shouldn't say this. Law school not gonna really teach you how to practice law. You might think I did my 3 years, I took all these classes. Day one, I start at the firm, or I start at an in-house position, or I start at the government position. I know what I need to know. I'm ready to go. And you really don't know anything. You just don't. It takes time. You have to learn the area of law you're in, practice it, study it, do training. There are practical law institutes. There are different trainings, at least in my firm. I'm constantly doing training. And I'm 2009, 2023, 15 years out, maybe 14 years out of law school, still doing training. Your training never stops. You have to continuously keep up on your craft, keep up on the study of law. If you were going into tax law, the president I know we all love, Trump, put in a whole new, that was a joke, put in a whole new tax law that was totally different than when I started practicing. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep abreast of what's going on in different legislatures on the federal level and how it affects your practice. So when I did graduate from law school, when I graduated from Dillard, I graduated as valedictorian of my 2002 class. But I just want you guys to know, I actually had a closing today and been working this morning and trying to get through that while I'm here. But I just thought it was so important to be here today because I want you to see in me that I am you and you guys can be me. I think that's important. Don't let anything in your background or what you've been through discourage you. You just need drive and determination. My mother is from Waterproof, Louisiana, population 500, okay? When you go to where she grew up, there's a row of houses. The cotton field is behind, and then the big house is behind there. So that's how she grew up. There was no indoor plumbing until I think she was in her teens. My dad is from Clinton, Louisiana, population 1,700. I'm from Baton Rouge. So they met at Southern at college. Everybody in my family went to Southern. I went to Dillard. So they met at college. And, I say that to say it doesn't matter your background, your circumstances. You have what you need. Dillard has given you the tools that you need. I'm a product of it to do whatever you need to do to make it through. So I did look for my valedictorian speech. I really did, because I was going to say it today. And I really couldn't find it. I looked for it. I'm sure it was inspiring. But I do remember the Bible verse that I stated. And it's from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And it's, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. And I think to bring up that verse today, or that message today, is that we might always think we have it planned out. You guys, you got into law school. I believe all you guys got into law school. You're going to do your 3 years. You're going to graduate. You're going to go into this field of law. You're going to start practicing. I assume you want to get married. I assume you want to get the house and the children. I'm assuming. Just assuming. I know some ladies particularly might not want that. I'm assuming. And you think you got it all planned out, and that's the way it's going to work. But it's just not life. That's just not life. You gotta continue with the drive and determination. Drive and determination. A month before me graduating from Dillard, my parents got a divorce, or were going through a divorce. That was not planned. Like 2 to 3 months before graduating, I was driving on Carrollton, coming to school, and something hit me, and it just came to, I don't want to go to law school right now. And I started dealing with, I'm going to law school when I graduate, but I was driving, I was like, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. And I had to change my whole focus of what I was doing and apply to graduate school. So I went to UT for a year and a half and got an accounting degree, and was able to get enough courses to be able to sit for the CPA exam. So then I got a job at Energy here in New Orleans on Carthage, and I worked there, and I just felt like I was in a job that I didn't really want to do long term. And then Hurricane Katrina happened. I'm sure for everyone in this room, that was not planned. And, you know, we had to move. We had to move out of our home. And a lot of people were out of a job, out of home. It was a lot. And then that's when I did apply to law school. I thought I would go to law school somewhere in Louisiana. I got into law school in Chicago. I had to convince my husband, we were engaged at the time, to move to Chicago because he's from New Orleans. And I don't know if anyone in here that's from New Orleans in the room, I think y'all think New Orleans is the end all and be all, and there's nothing beyond New Orleans. It's just New Orleans. But he did agree, and we moved to Chicago, and we've been there ever since. And so I say that because you think you have it planned out, but things will hit you this way, that way, this way. But you gotta just stay focused, stay on your goals, stay knowing where you wanna go and what you wanna achieve. When I did graduate from law school in 2009, the financial market and that's the year that when Obama was elected in 2008, 2009, his first year, that's when the economy had a horrible recession. And so my class was deferred. So we didn't start at the law firm. We were deferred for a full year, and I had to do a pro bono fellowship for that entire year. Again, that was something that was not planned. But I appreciate that year of learning because I got to work on special education initiatives in Chicago and learn about what children from ages 3 to 5 who have disabilities go through to try to get I want to say a basic, but a decent level of education in the Chicago public schools. And it's really a horrendous situation. And I never would have gotten that opportunity and known about that type of problems and issues if I hadn't been deferred. And then when I did start as an associate, I was put in the corporate group doing M&A work, which I didn't love doing. But through my fellowship, I was able to get a mentor through the real estate group who put me on a finance transaction. And I just loved it. And I was on finance transactions since then. I was just rolling along, doing work, raising children, doing work, raising children for years, and didn't realize really until the year I was up for partner that, I had everything I need to actually become a partner. And I say that to say, no matter the field you go in, you gotta be good at what you do. You have to obtain a skill that you are good at and can help and alleviate the problems of your client or your company, and do it well. On top of that, you have to build relationships. You build relationships at law school. Do the opposite of what I did. Build relationships. Build relationships with your first job, even if you hate it. Build relationships at your next job. Build relationships if you go to a law firm. Because when I was up a partner, it literally took a village for me to make partner. And I'm good. I know I'm good. You gotta have that attitude too. I'm good. I'm smart. I'm confident. I can do what I need to do. I superbly represent my clients. I put them in the best position possible. But at the same time, we live in the real world, and a lot of times it's who you know. Okay, it really is, and who's supporting you and who believes in you. And I had many of the top people in my firm supporting me and believing in me. Now, it didn't help, it didn't hurt that I was the only black person of a partner. I'm being honest. It didn't hurt. You know, diversity, as Dante stated, it's a problem in the legal field. It's an absolute problem. We have an internship program, which I think a couple of you ladies applied for. Maybe not in this. Are you there? Okay. Where we give an internship to college students so they can learn about the practice of law. I wish I would have had that when I was in college. But I say that to say you have to build relationships with people. Don't shut people off. Don't go in your own silo. Get out there when you start your first job after law school. Talk to people. You know, get them to know about you. Be personable. It's not all about business. It's also about doing the work. But people want to do the work with people they get along with and they can talk to each other about. You talk to about what you did this weekend. You talk to each other about their kids. They just want to feel like there's a connection there, and that's very important. Let's see. So going back to the rarity in the legal field, there's only, I believe the statistic was 4.7% of African American lawyers in the legal field. And that is indeed a problem. And, you know, if I had an answer to solve it, I would tell you, I will say at my firm, we have, you know, tried to recruit diverse attorneys, but the problem is once you recruit them, you also got to make sure they stay. And then you got on top of that, you have to make sure they're trained and they have mentors. And it's a lot to do. And I think when you guys start, if someone doesn't assign you a mentor or an advisee or advisor, go to HR and say, I need an advisor. I need a senior level advisor and I need a mid-level advisor. And outside of those two advisors, you need to know people outside of the advisor role who also you can talk to when you have problems, if you have an issue. Because don't go on the job and don't say anything and then just quit. Because the problem will never be resolved and the next person starting might have the same problem too, and it's never resolved. And that's how it's a great turnover, this is what I've seen, a great turnover, because a lot of, not everyone, I'm not saying everyone on the front row is a millennial, I'm not. But a lot of the new millennials start and they don't say anything. And we're not into the crux of the problem and trying to help you. But your ultimate goal, I really think, whether you go to a law firm or you go in-house, if you want to be a professor, if you want to be a judge, wherever field of law that you want to practice, you need to find an organization that's going to train you, that's going to promote you, that value you, and overall, that is extremely hard to find. If you find it, stay with it. But if you can find an organization that trains you, mentors you, promotes you, I'll put on top of that, supports you, you will succeed. You will absolutely succeed. I'm telling you. So I wanna wrap this up. Two more things. Once you do succeed, you come back like I have done today, 20 years later, which is crazy. I swear I was just in my 20s. I tell my kids to say I'm 28. I just turned 28 on Friday. I did not, but thank y'all. But I think 10, 20 years from now, you guys come sit up here and you make a speech to the students that are graduating and they're about to start law school. You tell them what you've learned and what you've experienced and what you've been through, and maybe how you were the only black lawyer in the room, and you have to be the most confident and the most skilled and the most educated sometimes, because sometimes you are, in the room, and you deserve to be in that room, and you did an excellent job. And then you tell them they can do the same. So I think that's very important. But I'm going to end on a quote from I think, going to be one of our greatest Supreme Court justices, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. That I might be the first, but I don't want to be the last. And it's on my shoulders to make sure that I leave a good impression so that others can follow. So I thought that was a great quote from her. My family and I have to take a flight back after this, so we can't attend the lunch. But if you guys have any questions for me now, I'm happy to answer. If you want to reach out to me, you don't want to ask it in this arena. If you want to reach out to me, I think Dante has my email address. Please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. During law school, if you have a question about internships, externships, should I go this route? Should I not go that route? Should I focus on these classes? Third year, a lot of kids don't go to school, but you should, because by third year, you're tired of law school. You really are. It's a lot. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. And I will get back to you, as soon as I can with any response or answers that I get. But thank you very much.
One more round of applause, please. All right. It's always great to have alum come back to the school and participate, because that's essentially what it's all about. And that's the same thing that's going to be expected of you all, always to come back and always reach back to give back. So now it is time, the moment that you all have been waiting for. The dates, the times, where are you going, who are you going to see? So this is how we're going to go. So we are going to go in alphabetical order with our lead scholars, and we're going to start with Miss Trinity Alexander. We have a change. We're going to start with Mr. Bell. Are you ready? Okay. We're going to start with Mr. We're going to start with Mr. DeAndre K. Bell. Mr. Bell was admitted to Howard University Law School, Texas Southern University Thurgood Marshall Law School, and Loyola Marymount Law School. DeAndre Bell received over $100,000 in scholarships this year. Mr. Bell, the floor is yours.
Oh, look, there go my mama. You gonna come on stage? Come on. All right. Hey there, how y'all doing? So for those of you who do not know me, my name is DeAndre K. Bell II. I'm a graduating senior representative public policy major from Houston, Texas. In first grade, I told myself I wanted to be president of the United States. Didn't know what the position entailed. I was just like, hey, he got a fancy house, he wears nice suits. I think that's what I want to do with my life. I told myself I was going to be the first black president. And then literally 1 year later, Obama ran and won. I was not discouraged by Obama running and winning though. And that later year, we had a project that we had to do in class. And I quite literally glued my face on top of his and said that I will still take the White House one day. I had long since abandoned that dream until I got to Dillard. And a lot of my best friends were like, you know what, you're going to do something in politics. I think you should be president of the United States. I'm like, what? Why would I do that? Suffice to say, I still will be running, and I'm very excited to do so. But as you can see in front of me, the hats displayed aren't necessarily hats that I initially thought would suit me as the up-and-coming president of the United States. I did not initially believe that these schools were fulfilling. You know, I thought Georgetown, Harvard, you know, something with a big name with some very large recognition should suit the president. That is until this year when I came to realize that my experiences through the mock trial team, through the frame, through student leadership, through all my experiences, that my type of advocacy, my type of leadership isn't one that's suited for a PWI or an Ivy League or, you know, some T14 law school. Instead, it's more suited for my people. And so I'm going to go ahead and take off Loyola Marymount and leave the two names on the table. My next decision was, okay, I can go to DC, the capital of the country, where I can obviously become president just like that and make a lot of connections. Or I can go back home for a little bit and spend some time there, get comfortable in my profession, in my field, and have a wide access of alumni networks across the South where I want to practice. That decision was very hard for me. However, today, I can say that I will be returning home to Houston and going to in saying that, let me sign the paper. In saying that, similar to what our guest speaker said earlier today, it's not necessarily about where you go, it's about what you do with it. And so, like I said, I definitely plan on becoming president of the United States, and I will be a president that has 2 degrees from an HBCU. A president who is an advocate for black people with my 2 HBCU degrees. And I'll be a president that ultimately will be able to take my experiences from Dillard and leadership and my experiences from Thurgood Marshall and hopefully one day make the United States a livable place. So, thank you. Got me a shirt and a mug that says Thurgood Marshall on it.
have that will be announcing is Miss Trinity Alexander. Trinity was admitted to LSU Law School, Loyola University, New Orleans College of Law, Mercer University College of Law, North Carolina Central University College of Law, Emory University, Texas Southern Thurgood Marshall University College of Law, and Chicago Kent University School of Law. Trinity has received over $300,000 in scholarship offers. Floor is yours, Ms. Alexander.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to start off by saying I've always known since I was a little girl that I was going to be a lawyer. I've always known. I'm the first person in my family to obtain a bachelor's degree, and I'll be the first in my entire family to attend law school. There was a point in my life when I was going through the LEAD program where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not going. I'm going to take a year off, or I'm going to just go ahead and get my master's and my PhD. I'm not going to law school. But God was telling me, no, you didn't do all this crying. You didn't study for the LSAT this hard just for you to not go to law school. And I've always known that I wanted to make my family proud. I've always wanted to buy my mom a house, get her out of the neighborhood that we're living in, and I want to take her with me wherever I'm going. And I know for a fact that I'm not staying in New Orleans. Ms. Tanya said that those of us that's from New Orleans, we like to stay, not me. I'm leaving. I wanted to go to Chicago or Atlanta or North Carolina. I wanted to go somewhere else completely. And I thought long and hard about my decision. And today, I will be deciding to go to Emory University School.
Once again for Ms. Alexander. Next up, we have Mr. Dillard, Spencer Jones.
I'll say that included you too, Dad. I know I brought y'all up here a little, out of the blue, but I know I'll probably hear about that later on today. But how y'all doing, everybody? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Spencer was admitted to NCCU, which is North Carolina Central University, Loyola University, New Orleans, University of Arkansas School of Law, TSU Thurgood Marshall Law School, and Southern University Law Center. Spencer received over $150,000 in scholarships this year alone.
So I remember about a year ago, this time last year, I stood right back there in the back where everyone is sitting back there, and I was like, wow, I cannot wait until this day. And I can say today that that day definitely came fast, for sure. Definitely came fast. But I also remember 4 years ago, before I was admitted to Dillard, and actually my parents and I, we sat in in that office back there with our then pre-law advisor, she said, and I hadn't been admitted to do it yet, but she said, Spencer, I don't know what we're gonna do, but what I do know is that we're gonna get you to law school. And I'm so glad that I can say today that she was not lying. So, one thing that I realized really throughout this whole law school application process is the importance of God's plan over my plan. Because when I tried to go by my plan, when I tried to do what I thought that I should do, where I thought that I should go, you receive a lot of pushback, because I know a lot of you guys out there have tried to go through your own plan, but you realize that God's plan is always the one that reigns over. And when you go by his plan, you just walk into every single blessing that he bestowed upon your life. And I can say that truly defined my law school admissions journey for sure. And I will say that to any of our lead scholars out there that are going to be applying to law school next year, know that you are more than that LSAT number. You are more than your GPA, and you have something more to offer to the law school than you ever thought that you could. And that was something that I also learned throughout my law school admissions process as well. Now, last week, actually during spring break, my dad and I, we were watching the whole thing unravel that happened in Tennessee. The whole, the Tennessee 3 with the state legislators that were expelled out of the Tennessee state capitol. And there were a lot of things that I took away from that. And actually, what's crazy is that night that it went on, we actually had like a dinner appointment that night. And my mom was getting mad at us for like staying over and watching it, but like, we're like watching history, like, you know. But one thing that I realized and took away from that whole ordeal was the fact that us Black policymakers, lawyers, litigators, we are more needed and in demand more than we've ever been in history for sure. And it's making me more excited about going into this field. So when I was picking a law school, I wanted to go to a law school that had a long history of being a part of that fight for racial and social justice. And the law school that I picked actually was founded out of that. It was actually founded out of a case in 1946, Herman v. Sweat, where this law school was created when it was tried by a famous civil rights activist that we know today. And actually what's crazy is when I went to go visit the law school, you know, remember how I said that you kind of just walk into God's plan? When I was at the law school and I took my tour and I actually ran into the associate dean of admissions at the law school, and she gave me like this kind of vintage hoodie that this law school has. And I remember the law school students that were giving me the tour, they were like, we don't even have that. And you just like coming here just stealing all our swag before us? I'm like, it's like that. So, so I am so proud to say, and then this law school as well has a long history of training the best Black lawyers in the country, #1 in the state of Texas for this, and one of the top 5 universities in the entire country producing Black attorneys. And we talked about community as well, and I'm actually so glad that I'm going to be able to join one of my best friends at this school. And I'm so glad to say that I will be attending Thurgood Marshall School of Law. No, I did. I got you there. Once again, next up, we have Ms. Felicia Rose. Felicia was admitted to UCLA Law School, University of District of Columbia Law School, and the University of Florida Law School. Now, the number I have here has increased, but I believe it increased by another 100. Would you say another 100?
So I'm going to add 100 to this number. So Felicia received over $430,000.
So first, I would be nothing without my God. So I will not thank the soul before I thank God, because there have been moments where I thought I was not going to be on this stage, that I would not be at this school, because I have seen my mountains. And there is a scripture that says, if you tell this mountain to move and you have no doubt in your heart, this mountain will move. And I will truly say that Felicia Rhodes sitting before you is indeed a mountain mover. But I could not have moved any mountain without my community, my tribe standing before me and behind me, as well as my sorority sisters, the pre-law department, and everyone who has invested in me. So with that being said, as I stated, the Bible says that if you say it in your heart and you have no doubt, then it will be. And so I say in my heart, I will not be going to University of Florida. In the fall, this Southern girl will be attending the University of Also, if you're looking to my right, this young lady is going to be a star one day. If you think I am a star, my little sister is my inspiration. She is my motivation. She is my role model. So.
Next up, we have Miss Jayla Ritchie. Jayla was admitted to the George Washington Law School in D.C., as well as Emory Law School in Atlanta. Jayla also received a number of scholarship offers from both law schools that she applied to and got accepted. With that being said, you have the floor, Ms. Ritchie.
Okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying that I'm really proud of y'all, so I'm really emotional. My freshman year, I came to Dillard, and Dr. Walter Kimbrough spoke at our commencement. He's my good friend. And he stated that relationships are important. And when choosing a law school, I wanted to find a law school that relationship was important to me. And so I'm very thankful and blessed to say that I'll be attending the George Washington. DC is my first choice in law, and I'm very blessed to have a very lump sum of scholarship money from them. I know my parents are just as shocked because I didn't tell them. I didn't tell anyway. But yes, I will be attending George Washington in DC.
And next up, we have Ms. Chastity Washington. Chastity was admitted to NCCU, TSU Thurgood Marshall Law School, Atlantis John Marshall Law School, and the University of Arkansas. Chastity received scholarships from all 4 law schools she applied to and got accepted.
I'm a little nervous. Thank you guys for attending. Thank you for the support. First and foremost, thank God, my family, for always being there and being supportive. I think I've dealt with a lot growing up as far as having to make choices for things, but I think this is definitely the hardest. The journey here was not easy, so I say I appreciate the support from everyone. I truly do mean it. And as far as that goes, I will be attending.
John Marshall.
Once again, for Ms. Washington. Next up, we have Ms. Paulina Weber. Paulina was accepted to TSU Thurgood Marshall Law School, NCCU Law School, University of Arkansas Little Rock, Atlantis John Marshall, and the University of Arkansas. Paulina received nearly $100,000 in scholarships.
Okay. Stop crying, girl. First, I want to give honor to God. I wouldn't be here without him. This has been so hard. Yeah, she's crying because she doesn't know where I'm going. And as of 6 days ago, I didn't either. So, and I also want to acknowledge my mom who's standing right there. And all my family that came from Little Rock to be with me today. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer at 16 years old. And I credit that to my late godfather, Attorney John W. Walker, who was a civil rights attorney in Little Rock. And he passed my freshman year here at Dillard. And so this journey, has been really personal because I wanted to fulfill that legacy. And in making this decision, I've been deep in prayer and fasting. And recently, legacy has been very important to me. I had a school that my heart was set on. And I'm not going because not only did I decide to set my new legacy by being the first person in my family to attend law school, but I'm a third-generation HBCU student, and I'm going to continue in North Carolina.
Once again for Ms. Weber. certainly not police due to her last name being a W, Ms. Alexis Whitaker.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, so Alexis was admitted to the University of Michigan of Columbia, Michigan State University, and the University of Illinois Chicago. Alexis has received over $190,000 in scholarships.
So making this decision was not an easy one by any means at all. Like, ask this one right here. Every day it was a different school. Every hour it was a different school. This one has this one has that. But I found that at the end of the day, I was looking for a school that felt like home, because that's what brought me to Dillard. Dillard felt like home. I felt like Dillard was going to put me in the best position and set me up for success. And so when I finally got to tour the law school that I will be attending in the fall, fell in love, the people, the teachers, the environment. And so I know that I'm going to be okay here, even if I am a little nervous because this is not where I want to be. But we'll move past that. But in the fall, I will be attending Michigan State College.
One more time for Ms. Whitaker. And can we have one big round of applause for all of our scholars? You all can see that when I say it takes a village, you saw the villages up here that made these students who they are, made them so successful. Lastly, I want to bring up Mr. Aaron Taylor. Aaron Taylor is the Executive Director for Access Lex for Legal Education Excellence. He's going to be delivering our closing remarks. So please welcome Mr. Aaron Taylor.
Wow, what a joyous and glorious afternoon. I don't know, I'm speechless in a lot of ways because I'm seeing a lot of my own journey and a lot of myself in these 8 trailblazers that are sitting before us. And I'll talk in a moment about why I'm calling them trailblazers. First, though, I'm going to talk to each of you all, and I won't be long. I know lunch is, I'm standing between you all and lunch, so I won't be long, I promise. But I do want to pay tribute to each of you. I was sitting in my chair taking notes as you all talking about your journeys and where you're going to school, and I'm just so inspired. So I'll start with DeAndre and Spencer. You know, you all had me on the edge of my seat. I'm a Howard Law School grad, and you all were toying with the ad. I'm like, okay, are they going to do it or are they not going to do it? But you didn't. But you still made an excellent choice. Texas Southern is an amazing school. Texas Southern is responsible for the diversity of the Texas bar. Between 2019 and 14, and this is a stat that I cite far and wide, between 2009 and 2014, 43% of all the black lawyers in Texas are graduated from Texas Southern School of Law. And I'm sure that number is still being fueled every year. So Texas Southern is doing great work to, again, diversify the profession down there. And I'm a double HBCU graduate as well. North Carolina A&T for undergrad, Howard for law school. And I can tell you it's an amazing distinction to have, and it prepared me very well for the work I've done since I graduated law school so long ago. All right, let's see, Trinity. You talked about possibly wanting to get a doctorate one day and all this kind of stuff. You go to law school instead, where you don't have to choose. I went and got a doctorate after law school. So if you fall and hit your head one day and want to go back to school after having already done all the school stuff, that's an option for you. And I bought my mom a house too. So that's something that you can do, and I can tell you it's one of the greatest things, if not the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Felicia, UDC, where are you? UDC was my first job in legal education. And I'll tell them they lost out to that nice Cali weather and the Cali lifestyle. But congratulations to you, and I know you've made an excellent choice for yourself as well. Chastity, John Marshall, where are you? John Marshall is a great school, and it's one of the very few law schools that actually has real diversity that looks like the diversity of our nation. So you'll go there and you'll be in an environment where you won't feel alone, and you'll be in a great city. I love Atlanta. Some of my friends say forever, I love Atlanta. All right, Paulina, where are you? You have a Little Rock connection? You're from born and raised in Little Rock. Okay, I was at Mission Dean at the Bowen School of Law at Arkansas, Little Rock. One of the hats you had as well, and I can remember I was moving to Little Rock from D.C., and a civil rights lawyer in D.C. told me the first thing you should do is go meet John Walker. That's literally the first thing he told me, and that's one of the first things I did, and he was an amazing person, and he really changed Arkansas and Little Rock specifically for the better in so many ways that we're living today. In North Carolina Central, again, a great school, WHBCU. The current governor of North Carolina actually is an alumnus of Central. So now, again, I'm an A&T grad, so that's our main, rival, but I'll give them credit in this context. All right, Jayla, welcome to D.C. Where are you, Jayla? Welcome to D.C., the center of the legal universe as far as the United States is concerned. A great place to attend law school, and George Washington, of course, is a great school, so you made an excellent choice. Alexis, there you go. Michigan State. I know a lot of people at Michigan State, and one person you should reach out to relatively quickly is Goldie Pritchard, and she runs their bar exam success program. And of course, you do law school and then you take the bar. That's your final step before you enter the profession. And so she's somebody that you should reach out to. And the dean there is also someone I know. So feel free. Email all these folks before you even show up. So when you get there, they'll already know your name, and then they can, match your name with your face. And so, like I said, I'm very inspired by all of you all. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking about all the trailblazers. Spencer, I think you mentioned Heman Sweat. Heman Sweat was the person who fought to desegregate or integrate University of Texas's law school. At that time, it was by law, an all-white law school. Black folks could not attend. They were prohibited by law, and Heman Sweat filed suit to gain admission, and that resulted in Texas's law school being integrated and Texas Southern's law school being founded. So Heman Sweat is someone I consider a hero, and there are so many others here in Louisiana. Charles Hatfield and Roy Wilson, they fought to integrate LSU's law school, and again, their efforts led to the founding of Southern's law school. So we're seeing the manifestation of these in some cases, decades-long battles that these trailblazers put forth to open up law school opportunity for not only just Black people, but for all people. And we're seeing the manifestations of it today, and I'm so inspired by it. As been cited a few times already, the legal profession today is only about 5%. I'm a numbers guy, and so I round up to 4.75. So I'm being a bit generous. Only about 5% of lawyers in the United States are Black today, in 2023. And to illustrate that, you could put every single Black lawyer in the United States in the Louisiana Superdome and still have about 6,000 seats left. That really sums up what we're talking about when we talk about the paucity of diversity in the legal profession, particularly as it relates to Black lawyers. And so that's why I call these young people trailblazers, because they're still blazing paths and blazing trails that need to be done. And to whom much is given, much is required. So it's on you all. It's your responsibility to reach back and bring other people along who are seeking to trot the same path that you all are on now. Now, let me get to the real reason why I'm here this afternoon. So I serve as Executive Director of the Access Lex Center for Legal Education Excellence. And Access Lex is a nonprofit organization based in Pennsylvania. I live in Maryland. And we have basically one purpose, and that purpose is to inspire and empower the next generation of lawyers. And we do that in a number of ways, and one of the primary ways in which we do it is through our Diversity Pathway Grants program. And so through that program, we fund efforts like LEAD to increase the numbers of people from underrepresented backgrounds, racial, ethnic, socioeconomic. We fund programs that seek to increase law school enrollment of people from those backgrounds. Now, LEAD is our longest serving program that we have funded. And we made our first grant to LEAD in 2017. And to date, we have contributed more than $730,000 to the LEAD program. And so I'm here today to announce that we are renewing our commitment to the LEAD program to the tune of $300,000. Put us over the $1 million mark. And so it's clear that the LEAD program and Dillard University are special to us at Access Lex. And events today, these 8 trailblazers, these 8 teacher lawyers that are sitting before us are examples of why we invest so much into this program. So congratulations, thank you again, and never forget you have a commitment to bring others along with you.
Thank you all very much. I won't be long. Once again, proud of each and every one of you. And please, let's eat, let's network. Thank you very much.
Come on, you know I